Go for it. Go for it.
Oh no, I was just saying, yeah, we're live. This was not the day for me to not use my good camera and to forget my.
uh, you still,
Oh,
you know what though? You still look beautiful. Come on, man.
thanks.
Um, well, hello everybody. Welcome back to the Zoop podcast. My name is Jordan. I am the CEO of Zoop. We are joined today by our podcast producer, Chance, the beautiful. Say hi, Chance.
Hello.
We originally had a guest that was supposed to be on. I don't know how well we promoted it or not, but there was a family emergency, so they are no longer going to be joining us. But since we do this every Wednesday at 6 o'clock Pacific time, we thought that we would just keep with tradition, shoot the shit for a little bit, and at least give you guys something to watch or listen to if you're tuning in every week. So again, we stream live every Wednesday night here on YouTube, or if you go to the Facebook page. You can listen to the audio version of this on iTunes, on Spotify. There's always going to be something that we're talking about. There's going to be a description, show notes. Usually there's going to be a link to a campaign. So always, please feel free to click that. Support the artists, support the writers, support all the creators that are using Zoop, that are funding their projects through Zoop. We appreciate it. They appreciate it. And right now, we really don't have something to talk about. So we're just going to kind of continue the conversation that we were having just before we kind of started this podcast. But I do think though, Chance, we'll take it a little bit more comics focused this time as opposed to music. Or, although maybe we could intertwine a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah,
What do you think?
Sure. We'll
Well,
see where it goes.
maybe that's a good question. Do you find sort of like an intersection between music and comics, or like your preferred genre of music in the world
Hmm.
of comics?
I mean, I think that there's a lot of intersection as far as like the type of people who maybe would have who are very dedicated fans of music. I if I went to a comic convention and I just talked to random people at a convention about what their interests are, I would feel pretty confident that most people would like at least within the top 5 things would probably say music. I don't know what the correlation is there, like if it's just, art and it's just kind of a mindset of people who are fans of comics, appreciate art and that higher kind of consciousness, and so they just gravitate to being consumers of music as another art form.
That's yeah. I mean, look, my whole thought has always been, because like for me, like I still listen to punk rock. Like that's my genre of choice, and I feel like there's a lot of crossover between the world of punk rock and comics, especially like for people our age and a little bit older, is because like when we were kids, those things were not popular. Like
Right.
it wasn't cool to be into comics. All the
Unless you
Marvel
do.
movies hadn't come out yet. Yeah. It wasn't cool to be into punk rock until like Green Day came out. So like there's those, I feel like there's that correlation of sort of being like the outsider, sort of living on the fringe. And I know that like metal is like another genre where there's like a ton of crossover between like people who are metal fans and into comics. Um I know you're a rockabilly guy, as we just established.
Yeah, well, I'd mentioned Brian Setzer. I grew up on rock.
Yeah, man.
That was like the genre that I I loved back then, but like in branched out and um I don't listen to it so much anymore. Like I still love it. And it's kind of one of those things of like guys who like wear Misfits patches or shirts, stuff that almost like an homage to what they grew up on, or Black Flag or whatever. That was like the foundation of what they, they started out as teenagers or whatever. So it's like they always honor that. But yeah, I definitely agree with what you're saying as far as like punk rock and comics, because punk is very much like I mean, yeah, magical, or if you could even say like a fashion choice or whatever. But I think like punk is very much going grain, not and kind of questioning status quo.
Yeah.
Books are very punk, or they can be in that way, and that they do have they a lot of comics came to status quo. They've always been a good platform for punk rock. So I think
Yeah.
that in that way, they definitely go hand in hand.
Yeah, a place to get your voice heard, a place to get a message out. Totally.
Mhm.
Hey,
Yeah.
can can I do a screen share, or is it just you?
Um, have a like a button with a
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Because we're talking about music and metal and comics. I mean, I have to bring up Murderfucker, right? I know we don't have a specific campaign to talk about, but we can talk about the campaigns that are live right now. And since we're talking about music and comics, I mean, geez, this is the best example. This is the most metal comic that you're going to see ever. I mean, it's called Murderfucker, for Christ's sake. There's not much time left, and we just hit the goal today. So I hope Marco, the creator of this gorgeous book, by the way, I'm going to show some pages here. Some variant covers that are still available. But yeah, here I'm going to zoom in right here. Check out all the bands, right? Suicidal Tendencies, Napalm Death, Slayer on the t-shirt. So very cool. This was not planned. I mean, like we were just talking about, yeah, Deicide, Megadeth, Anthrax, Pantera, Testament. Come on.
The guy on the cover reminds me of Danzig.
Totally.
Well, Danzig's on the covers too. I've never read his stuff.
I never read his stuff either. And there's a really funny, what is it, like Henry Loves Glenn? There's some sort of like weird like shipping fan fiction of the two of them. Like
around here somewhere, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, Murderfucker. This one, you know, it doesn't get more metal than this. If you're into metal, you like comics, support this campaign. There's 29 hours left from when we're recording this. So yeah, go check that out. I'm gonna see if I can move over to. Did it move over to
why this guy hasn't been on yet?
He's in Italy. The time difference, like 6 o'clock here, you know, is what, like 4 in the morning, 2 in the morning, something like that. It just didn't really work out. Yeah.
Well, that would be super
another camp
in the middle of the night.
It would be very metal. Not gonna lie. Real quick, we have another campaign that could definitely use some support. We had a super successful campaign with Shannon last year for Skin Horses. I believe it was volumes 11 and 12. So this is another campaign to reprint volumes 7 and 8, which she sold out of. So you know, the fact that she's already done a campaign for 7 and 8 and sold out of all the additional copies that she overprinted, you know, at conventions and shows and things like that. Now she's looking to do another reprint. So we could definitely use some support here. It's not just Skin Horse volume 7 and 8. You can get the whole 12 volume run in this campaign. There's PDFs, there's physical copies, there's sketches, remarks, each individual volume on its own. So it's a really cool story. You could definitely start it from the beginning, or you could support just because you love Shannon. Let's see, man. I just want to make sure, because I can't see my screen now because I'm sharing it. Are we on full tilt right now, Chance?
I'm still seeing Murderfucker.
Oh no. Okay.
Yeah, I think I can share.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. I think I just changed it.
There we go.
Are you?
Yep.
All right. Yay, full tilt. Full Tilt's been on a huge run. Had a huge launch date. This is by Jason Copeland. Very inspired by Frank Miller, as you could probably tell from the cover. But this book has been crushing. You can get the book, the PDF, signed copies. Retailers, come chime in. And if you're an original art fan, there's single pages, there's double page spreads for sale. There's a link that you could kind of go check out what all the different pages look like. We don't have them all posted on the campaign page. But yeah, there is a ton of original art for sale. So go check that out. If you like pages, if you like having them up on your wall or in your portfolio, this is definitely a campaign to check out. He sold out of all his remarks, sold out of all the commissions he's going to do. So if you're looking for that art, these original pieces are definitely the place for you to go. Moving on to the next campaign that we have live right now. All right. Can you see the screen right now, Chance? Are we on 5,500 miles of comics?
Yep.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. This one's a bit different. This is a slice of life type of thing. We met Betche. She's on Substack. She has a huge Substack following, which is really cool because typically the only people who have like big Substack followings are like Jonathan Hickman and Scott Snyder and Brian K. Vaughan and like all these established people. But she has like over 1,000 people on her Substack. So it's really cool, really exciting. This launched last week and she's already at like 70% funded. Yeah, it's a great, I mean, if you're a parent, this is definitely something that you're going to want to check out because it'll certainly speak to you. I want to see if I can find a couple of pages here. But yeah, I mean, it's really just about her life during the pandemic, moving from California to the Netherlands. She has her own unique art style. She will draw you in her unique art style if you like this kind of stuff. I'm getting one. See right here, you can get drawn as a Betcha character. I think we're also going to add something else pretty soon. So stick around for what that new reward is going to be. This next campaign, we can't not talk about it. Jorge Molina, honestly, like one of my favorite current artists right now. I'm so happy that we're doing a campaign with him. We also, excuse me, we also launched his campaign last week. And as you can see, we're well over that $10,000 goal. We have over 3 full weeks left. He sold out of all the original art stuff on day one, the remarks, the full body commissions, the head sketches, all gone. But the cool thing is he's got some of his variant covers that he's done for Marvel and DC that he has available. He'll sign them. So you could just get those. I'm looking at this, trying to zoom in. We got some X-Men stuff, some Spider-Geddon stuff. It looks like Human Target, Captain Marvel, Spider-Geddon. I think I said Batman. Ton of Batman stuff. If you're a fan of his Batman work, you definitely want to hop on that. But yeah, this book is gorgeous. I'll show you some of the art. And yeah, Jorge was on last week with us, so you can go check out his interview with us too. But man, some of his stuff is just gorgeous. And the crazy thing is, like, I asked him something like this X-Men piece right here, which is insane, is not digital. This is pencil ink.
Right.
This is like marker. It's phenomenally drawn. I am so impressed with his artwork.
He had a few on digital.
I couldn't believe it when he was saying that there was some stuff. I mean, I think that this one's digital. And that's some of his artwork for video game stuff. He like the Star Wars work he's done. I mean, the guy is just phenomenal. If you're a fan of this artwork, come check out the campaign, get the art book.
I think that was the one that he said that he did in pen and ink.
But like, that's just ridiculous. It's unfair to the other kids. Yeah, the man's good. If you're a fan of that type of art, which I think if you're watching this podcast, you must be. And then the last one, we just launched this one today. I'm going to refresh the page and see where we're at right now. Bam. One more pledge came in since the last time I had this campaign page up. So Sereno just launched today, over 50% funded within, the first 10 hours or so. Very psyched about this. Luciano Vecchio, he's a fantastic artist, done stuff for Marvel and DC. He also, man, I mean, this is an opportunity to get some really limited commissions. Only 5 head sketches, 5 busts available, 5 full figures, and there's only 3 of those left. So definitely hop on that. The cool thing about Luciano, he also works digitally too. So if you're interested in some colored stuff, you can get a one-of-one digital commission from him as well. And he does some gorgeous stuff. But yeah, original pages for sale. It looks like we've already sold one of them. And sketch cards too. All right. Some really good stuff. I mean, I show you a couple of pages from the story. But it's an insane use of color and light. Each chapter sort of highlights a different color. You can see sort of the blues here, the greens and teals here. I mean, it's a really intelligently laid out, smart book. And I'm just a fan of his as a person. Yeah, really super sweet, nice guy. Definitely deserves your support. So go check out all of those campaigns, zoop.gg. All the artists, all the creators, definitely support excuse me, definitely appreciate your support. Sorry for the long sort of sales pitch here, but hey, without one guest, we just kind of had to highlight everything that's going on the site right now.
Yeah, no, that's a good opportunity to do that. Like just give everybody kind of like an overview of what's available. So,
you know what? I mean, and look, we have a bunch of stuff that's coming up too. Yeah, we're doing our first tarot card deck, first campaign for a
cool.
tarot card deck. Yeah, so breaking away from from just the comics and graphic novels type of stuff. We have another omnibus coming up from Edgardo Miranda Rodriguez. This is La Borinqueña, and I know I'm butchering that pronunciation, and I apologize, but I definitely don't have the rolling R in my arsenal here. But if you're familiar with Edgardo and La Borinqueña, she's a Puerto Rican superhero. Rosario Dawson is an advocate for the book. She actually appears in several pages of the book, so wow. You could definitely check that out. We have Ben Morse, who we did Scarlet Twilight with. He's coming back for another book called August. Charlie McKelvey with Zion Studios. You might know him best. Oh man, now I'm gonna butcher. Spider Squirrel, I believe, is his character. He's been doing his story Milestone here on Zoop. So Volume 2 is coming out shortly. Check that out. And yeah, some other really, really cool stuff. Yeah, we're got a lot of good stuff going on. We're happy with what we have live. We're happy with what we have coming up. And there's so much stuff that we can't even talk about that's in the works too. So come check it out. Click back. Always, make zoop.gg a destination of your web browsing each day, because you never know what's going to happen. And now the salesman spiel is complete.
Well, and you get huge variety too. So like just a big of options.
I appreciate you saying that, Chance. That is very true. I have a question. Oh, go ahead. What were you going to say?
I was just saying, I'm not trying to butter you up.
You're doing a good job, though. I mean, I'll take it.
So what was your question?
Well, I was going to ask you, who is your favorite comic book character or title?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry to put you on the spot like that. I know.
Man, I have to think about that. Title, I would have to say probably Sin City.
Oh, damn. All right. So you're a Frank Miller guy too, then.
Like Frank Miller. I really just avoid just something about the atmosphere, and he just captures that as well in Sin City. But I think like if you say stereotype, he just like every like film noir book, I just feel like he encapsulates all that in that run. But
gotcha.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Snoopy's making an appearance here. He was whining at the door, so I had to get him in. I didn't mean to cut off your run talking about Sin City and Frank Miller.
Oh, absolutely not. I'm glad Snoopy can make an appearance.
Yeah,
also,
man.
Yeah. What about you?
So there was a title in the early 90s. I mean, a lot of people have missed it, but it was called The New Warriors. And that, to me, that for some reason has just like stuck with me throughout the years. That'll always be my answer to all things comics, is The New Warriors. It was like a teenage superhero team. It was kind of Marvel's answer sort of to like the Teen Titans, which was like a super popular book. But you got Nova, Speedball, Firestar, Night Thrasher, Namorita, who's Namor's cousin. So maybe she's Namorita now. I don't know. Never knew how to pronounce it until you hear it,
Yeah. Shoot. And nothing's coming off the top of my head of like deep cuts or anything, but like the Watchmen, just so much good social commentary there that is just timeless. And I think that just Alan Moore like had so much foresight in kind of seeing like where they were when he wrote that at the time, like socially and like looking forward to like, kind of just a critique of capitalism and
That's an understatement, but yeah.
yeah. It's just brilliant, really, really great story. And
Here's
honestly,
oh,
sorry, go ahead.
no. I cut you off.
I was just gonna say, like, I know that movie gets a lot of shit, but I mean, if you're gonna like take a huge story like that, I think that movie did pretty good as far as like a 2-hour movie can do.
Wasn't my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a lot of people's favorite, but
yeah.
I like
don't
the
know.
series a lot.
Oh hell yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a question that I just thought of for you. If you were to give someone who's not into comics, a comic to get them into comics, what comic would you give them?
Man.
Sorry, I'm
No,
putting you on the spot.
a hard way to answer that. I mean, that's a difficult question, I think, just because it's so it's kind of hard to like jump in to an ongoing series, especially, and like not having
No, it could be number one. It could be like, yeah, it could
Okay.
be Sin City number one. It could
Mm.
be Amazing Spider-Man number one. A reprint, of
Yeah.
course, but
Yeah, it's a good question. I would say, crap. You're gonna have to come back to me about that for a sec.
all right.
What do we do though?
The ones that come to my mind instantly when it's like, what's the gateway drug kind
Yeah.
of. I have two that come to mind, and they're both by Brian K. Vaughan, interestingly enough. Saga and Why the Last Man.
Yeah. I haven't read those, but I Brian Vaughan. Actually,
Man.
I got one. Do you know Joe Hill? He's Stephen King's son. Knows for Wraith. I buy that for people, and I'm like, hey, you should like read this comic book, and then you're gonna want to go and buy the novel that it's a companion piece to. Have you ever read it? It's
No,
it's
but
awesome.
I bet Eric has, because Eric was at IDW for a while.
Oh yeah, okay.
But
Yeah,
when you said Joe Hill, I thought you were going to say Lock and Key.
Lock and Key's good. I don't know if Wraith or Nosferatu is kind of like the underdog of Joe Hill's stories, but it's if you like horror and you kind of like whimsical kind of characters that could maybe be in like a Tim Burton kind of universe, then it's really good.
That's a good answer. I like it. All right.
Yeah, and I like when things branch out into like a prose like novel, because it's like you get kind of a taste of what's on the surface. Or like, oh, there's like a novelization that goes deeper into this world. Like, I want to get that novel now.
Are you a reader? Like, do you read novels?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's always kind of like I get really excited when I find like a novelization of like a big run, like Civil War, Marvel Civil War, like reading that novelization.
Actually, interesting.
One of the best, like my favorite reading experiences was probably The Death of Superman, the novel. Like the graphic novel is great, the series, but like the novelization of that is so good. Nightfall was also a really good novelization. The Batman,
breaking
series.
his back, Bane breaking his back.
Really
wow.
Yeah.
I had no idea that either one of those were turned into novels.
Yeah. So I mean, if you read like prose, I would recommend checking at least those two out.
Yeah. Chance, I'm glad you're here, man. These are things I never would have even picked up on or ever talked about, but that's awesome. I didn't even know that those things existed.
Yeah. Maybe you guys could break out into long form publishing.
We're happy to. I just don't necessarily know that our audience is looking for that just yet, but I could be wrong. Maybe I'm the outlier that doesn't read novels.
Yeah, maybe it's a very niche audience. I don't know.
I don't know either. I don't know. I just like pictures.
Mm-hmm. Actually, I just saw that there's a novelization. I was at Barnes and Noble of The Killing Joke. It just came out.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Did you get it?
No, I want to, but it's on my list. I don't want to. I have a stack of books I need to read, so I feel bad for the other books that are waiting to be read if I bring in another one. So, like, I'm neglecting.
Do you read digitally?
No, I mean I listen to audiobooks.
Sure.
I haven't. No, I not for any like real reason in particular. Other than kind of the cliche answer of like I like having a physical book in my hand. Like,
Yeah.
but I haven't gotten around to getting anything, and as far as a
What?
Kindle or anything like that.
Oh, all right, yeah. Well, I have. By the way, I mean, like, I got an Amazon Fire. I had an iPad, and that died. So I got an Amazon Fire because I realized like the only thing I use it for is to read comics. I think it was like $75 when it was on sale. Basically for a tablet, comic size tablet.
Right.
It works perfectly. $75. So I would recommend that. And then there is an app. If you have a library card, it's called Hoopla,
Right.
Hoopla. And then yeah, I mean you essentially can use their app instead of physically going to the library and checking out books. You could take out a download of the novelization of The Killing Joke if it's up
Yeah,
there.
that's so cool.
So
Libraries
just
are
easy
awesome.
access. Yeah, dude, I love library. I've read I mean tons from the library. I have graphic novels right now out from the library. I read the
Yeah.
entire
No, I mean it's
Ultimate Spider-Man series from the library, the entire Ultimate X-Men series from the library.
awesome. Yeah, no, I mean it's just a great. It's I don't know. I think that things shouldn't be inaccessible to people just based off their income, especially books, like and reading and having access to the internet and things like that. Like these things shouldn't be off just of your income. So 20 and man, that was like where I got most of my entertainment was like checking out DVDs, watching entire series just from going to the library and books and yeah, that was my source of finding entertainment. So yeah, I don't
I
think they're
hear you,
going
man.
anywhere soon. So
No, dude, same. As a young parent, like that was like a place that you can go with your kid and like surround
Mhm.
them with books and like other like yeah, libraries are awesome. People support your local libraries for sure. And by the way, I caught a little glimpse of the punk rock professor there, Chance. Are you still doing your podcast? You want to give a little plug?
I haven't for a while, like not really for any good. I mean, I guess it's a good reason, but um, I kind of was so the podcast I was doing for about a year and a half is called Punk Journalism, and my background is in journalism as far as my education and what I do on my own, as a civilian. But it's I was kind of just we were looking at a lot of like controversial social issues, hot topics, current events, that sort of thing, and just kind of looking at them critically and using critical thought to maybe these from a point of view that we didn't feel were being looked at hard enough, um, in a broad sense, like broad topics, not like news of the day kind of thing. Things like, like why did our there's there I don't know, one of my favorite topics that I remember we spoke about was divorce. You always hear like your grandparents' generation say like, oh, everybody these days just gives up on their marriage and nobody wants to work on it anymore. And we're like, is there more to it than that? Like maybe did grandma just put up with a lot more than she probably should have in her marriage? Like
She was
so
trapped
like,
because women didn't work and she wasn't financially
yeah,
independent. Like, yeah.
yeah. So like we would kind of just like dig into stuff like that. And I had on a lot of authors, like, especially like sociologists and psychologists,
Oh
uh,
wow.
about pretty very relevant topics, especially in the social setting at that time. Michael
Uh,
Kimmel was a big one. Sorry, go
Is
ahead.
is the is the podcast still up there? Like, is it still on like iTunes or wherever?
Yeah, yeah,
Is it live anywhere?
yeah, yeah. It's because I haven't done anything with it in about a year.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
that it's probably only on YouTube right now. The biggest
Hey,
reason that I walked away from it was mostly just because, like, things just became so and still are so divisive in our
yeah,
political um, environment that I just felt like do I want to be like one more person just to like create more negativity and like yelling back and forth and pointing fingers? I don't know. So like I was just kind of always thinking like of a new way to approach those subjects by being more inclusive and not just like demonizing people that I felt were backwards or
That makes
ignorant,
sense.
right? So what
Yeah.
eventually I'd like to go back to it. But I guess when it's the right time. But
Well,
yeah.
we at least hopefully we're filling that gap for you with a podcast to still be
Yeah.
kind of
Scratches
being a
that
part
itch.
of here. Yeah. And it's all positive here, right? I mean, we're just like trying to prop up these creators and help them,
Mhm.
achieve their goals and their dreams.
Yeah.
And boom,
Well,
we just
and that's another thing too, is like those kind of topics, like while I find them interesting, like they don't do great things for my mental health because
yeah,
just the nature of their, being negative things, issues and stuff. Like, so it's good to stay
understood, man.
informed.
Hey,
Yeah, but
um, well, guys, go check out what was it, punk rock journalism or punk
just
journalism?
journalism.
Punk journalism. And by the way, 29 hours left for Murderfucker. We just got another big supporter getting one of the commissions done by Marco Fontanilli. So thank you for that. I love it. I love that in the time that we're here, kind of just chatting away, more people are coming to Zoop and pledging and supporting these creators. For everybody listening, we truly appreciate it. Yeah, come back next week. We're gonna have another guest. Because I'm terrible at doing this, I don't know who it's gonna be just yet. But come on back. Can you still see me or hear me?
Yeah, I can see you. Can you see me?
Oh no, I feel like I lost you. All right,
Oh,
hey, as long as we're there. But yeah. Oh man, I just got a very funny text. On that note, everybody, thank you for joining us this week. I know this is a
I
bit of
think
a departure from what we normally do. Can you hear me?
yeah, I got you back. You cut out
Oh,
first.
yeah, I don't know what's going on. I'm getting an unresponsive page, but I was kind of wrapping it up here, Chance. But this was kind of a strange week for us. But thank you to everyone who tuned in. I still can't even tell if what's going on. If you could hear me or see me.
I can hear you. Yeah, I got you.
All right, excellent. Well, everybody, thank you again. Every Wednesday, 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time on YouTube, on Facebook. The audio version will always be on Spotify, on iTunes, the Zoop podcast. Check it out there. The website, zoop.gg. Support these creators. They would very much appreciate it, and so do we. So thank you for spending a little bit of time with us, just shooting the breeze a little bit, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.